What if you could minimize the amount of time, effort, the number of mistakes that you would make when it comes to achieving your goals? What's up, everyone? Want to welcome you to another episode of Unconscious Communication Secrets. And you are tuned in with myself, Munir Al-Busaidi. We are live. And I want you to imagine for a moment that if you wanted to draw something that you've never drawn before, right? And you wanted to get it perfectly, what's the easiest way to do it, right? And that would be probably to trace a drawing, right? You take some tracing paper, you put it on top of some drawing that someone's already done, and you draw that. And that is a little bit of our analogy of what we're talking about today, because today we're talking about the shortcut to achieving something and the power of something called modeling. And I don't mean modeling. Hey, what's up over there? How you doing? What's going on? No, I'm not talking about that kind of modeling. We're talking about modeling behavior. So, first of all, hey, Shahid, great to see you. Well done. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you, man. Good to see you, brother. All right, cool. So, we are talking today about the power of modeling. And in specific, I'm talking about NLP modeling. So, and why is this important? Well, ultimately, pioneers, are you can always spot the pioneers because they're the people that have arrows in their back. The people that have created the first path. They're the people that have made all the mistakes. They're the people that are, that have, done it the hard way. They've made every single mistake out there. And so to a certain degree, we don't need to go and make all the same mistakes that people have already made, right? And that's the whole concept behind modeling is for nearly most things in our life, there's someone that's already done it. There's someone that's already made all the mistakes so that we don't have to make those same mistakes again. And so when we speak about modeling, it's just like find someone that has found a path that works, and so that you don't have to go and have all these arrows behind your back, right? Now, let me give you we do this all the time in our lives already, right? For example, you learned numbers, right? You didn't have to go and create a numbering system. You didn't think, oh, you know what? Let me go and create a number system. No, like we learned numbers that someone has gone through the hassle of already making it work. We use it. Learning how to work, you're not creating a whole new way of doing it, or you're not trying to create a whole new language. We do these things already. We find something that someone has created and we use it. Now, also, you may have heard of a couple of phrases. One of my favorites is, look, if you want to be a millionaire, don't ask a bum on the street. You find someone that has already achieved something that you want to do, and you ask them how they did it, but you have to find the right person. And that's why this is so key and so important. Now, I'll tell you a quick story of how I kind of learned modeling and where I learned it from. But I essentially learned it from NLP. But how modeling as a science kind of came about is back in the day, there are people that used to go to psychiatrists, right? Especially in the 60s, 70s, people used to go to psychiatrists, and they'd pay a psychiatrist a lot of money for them to go every single week and speak about the same problem. And so you'll have people that have had the same problem for years, and they go to a psychiatrist, and every single week for years, they'll go to the person and they'll talk about the problem. And there was a couple of people by the name of John Grinder and Richard Bandler, and they were like, why would someone go to the same person and pay that money over and over again and not get a result? I mean, ultimately, aren't you going to get a result? Like if you're going to a psychiatrist, typically someone is going for help. They're going in order to be helped, not to go and talk about the problem over and over and over and over and over again, right? And so they decided to go, and they looked, and there was only a handful of therapists that would actually get a result every single time. This is a picture of two of them, Fritz Perls and Virginia Satir. And they were two therapists that would get a result every single time. And so Dr. Richard Bandler, or Richard Bandler at the time, and John Grinder, they went and they studied these guys, and they were like, okay, how come all these psychiatrists, all these like top people like that are being paid all the time, they never get results with their clients, but their clients keep coming back? But what about the guys that actually get results every time? What are they doing differently? And so they went and studied the people that were getting results every time. So they studied Virginia Satir, they studied Fritz Perls, they studied Milton Erickson, and they were like, okay, these are the guys that get results every time. What are they doing differently? And so out of studying them, out of studying the people that were getting results every time, that's that they found patterns, and then they put together something called NLP, which was literally just finding the different patterns that all these guys were doing and putting it together. But NLP was born from this thing called modeling, which is finding people that have done what it is that you want to do and finding out what they did in order to do it. And so NLP, which teaches modeling, was born from the very thing that they teach, which is modeling, finding people that have done what it is that you want to achieve and recreating that. So what can you model? So let's talk about when it comes to modeling, when it comes to finding success and modeling it and recreating it, what are some of the things that you could model? So first of all, modeling strategy. Now strategy is just it can be a person's like business strategy, etc., but also it can be our thinking strategy. So for example, Richard Bandler, he went and found people that had done a number of spelling bees, right? These kids that are like amazing spellers. They could spell any crazy word, and they would and he would say, okay, let me see, what are these guys doing in their mind in order for them to be exceptional spellers? How are they thinking? How are they organizing thoughts? And out of that was born the NLP spelling strategy, which I think I've done a video on this a little bit ago, but basically I teach you how anybody can spell, even if you're dyslexic. Like how do you organize letters? How can you become amazing at spelling? But how that strategy was born about finding people that are excellent and seeing what are they doing in their mind, how are they organizing different information, different patterns, etc., and modeling that. Etienne, thank you very much. Great to have an intro to NLP. Sounds really interesting. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate your interest in it as well. Yeah, this is something I'm very passionate about, and I know that it was something that you were interested in. So I'm really glad that you're getting to see this live as well. So all right, so modeling strategy. Now, modeling strategy, just to give you a couple of other examples, like speed reading, this is memorization techniques. These are all different ways of modeling strategy. So if you go and, there's a number of documentaries on Netflix which talk about people that are memory champions, right? Even like there's some people that have had terrible memories their whole lives. I'm probably one of them, but that have learned strategies. They've modeled people that are amazing or some of the best in the world at memorization, and found out what are they doing in their minds, and then modeled that behavior. And then those have gone on to become to compete in memory championships as well. So a lot of things that you can model when I talk about modeling strategy. Then there's modeling physiology. What are you doing in terms of your body? Like, so this is one of the things that I started to do when I started learning how do I become a better speaker. I started to look at what are other speakers doing. in terms of their body. So I'd look at one of my favorite speakers is Tony Robbins, and I'd say, okay, what is he doing with his physiology when he's standing? How's he moving his hands? What is he doing, etc. And I'd start to model physiology. Now, there's a number of techniques. So, for example, mirroring and micro muscle mirroring. I'm not going to go into in too much detail. These are NLP techniques that show you how to model physiology at a deeper level. But just understanding that you can model someone's physiology, how they use their body. Now, this doesn't just relate to speaking, but for example, if you've heard of a gentleman called Wim Hof. Wim Hof is the Iceman, and he's broken a number of world records. And he would do something with his immune system by doing some breathing techniques. And he's the guy that goes into ice baths and stuff like that. A really cool guy. You can check him out on Google, Wim Hof. Anyhow, when I discovered what he was doing in order not just like to improve his immune system, to manage his state, etc., I started to model his breathing technique, and I found it amazing benefits in terms of how I would feel, in terms of getting over some sicknesses, illnesses, etc. But that's another example of modeling physiology, because your breathing is another way of physiology. So that's another thing that you model, physiology. Another thing that I always model is tonality. So I learned a lot of different tonalities from a guy called Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort is the guy who's the Wolf of Wall Street. And he would use different tonalities. The way when he would talk in order to sell, he would sometimes whisper, because it might get you to lean in, or he might speak in a different kind of way, and I would start to model the way that he would use his voice, or the way he would pace himself. Sometimes he'd go very quick, and then sometimes he'd just, go a bit slow. And by modeling your tonality, you also get into the head of a person as well. Like you kind of start to understand how they're thinking as well. So modeling tonality is another thing that you can do when it comes to modeling. Another one is modeling beliefs. So this is one of my favorite quotes, and I am a huge fan of Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is one of he passed away a few years ago. Such an amazing speaker, really hilarious, funny person, but one of the original sort of motivational speakers as well. But he would say, he had a belief: if you want to have more, you have to become more. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. For things to improve, you have to improve. If you grow, everything grows for you. And that's a belief that he had. For things to change, you have to change. And it's a belief that I adopted, and a belief that has served me in my life. For things to get better, you have to get better. Now, that's a belief. So that was his belief, and I went and modeled that belief. And because of that, I'm able to speak to you for today. Because I decided to model that belief. I said, okay, for things to get better, you have to get better. So I was like, okay, let me try and get better. And as a result of taking his belief and modeling that in my own life and adopting that belief, I have gotten better. and as a result, I have grown. So that's another way of modeling beliefs. Omar, great to see you, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. And yeah, well said. It's an amazing quote. So one of my favorite quotes. And if you've seen Omar, I think you've seen me speak before, and I quote Jim a lot on that when I speak. So that's another one. So modeling beliefs is one. Modeling values is like what's important to you, what's important to a person. So one of the values that I modeled was, someone was, I think it was Russell Brunson. He was talking about, look, if you really want to get better, you have to work hard. Like you've got to want to do this more. You've got to do more than other people are willing to do. And he said something along the lines of, if you really want to get good, I would speak every day. Find a way to speak every single day. And he was talking about the value. One of his values is working harder than anyone else. And so I decided to model that value, and that's why I go live every single day. Right now, I go live every single day because I decided to take a value that someone had and adopt that value. And again, I'm modeling people. If you can see every example that I've told you, I'm modeling people that have achieved what it is that I want to achieve. I'm modeling people that are at the top of their game, not just anybody. I'm modeling people that have achieved what it is that I want to achieve. And that's important. MJ, great to see you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Thanks for tuning in, brother. All right, cool. So modeling values is another one. And then modeling behavior. Now, I've got a screenshot of a bunch of magazines here. And that's because, when I started learning how to, I used to work in digital marketing for a long time. And I started learning, if you want the easiest shortcut to success is finding a company, find out where your competitors are advertising. The most successful competitors, they are advertising, and they are advertising in places because they are getting results in those places. They've already made all the mistakes. They've already advertised it, in the wrong places. They found out what works, what doesn't work, etc. And so if they are consistently advertising in a place, typically they are getting results from that. And so he started saying, if you have a competitor and they are advertising, find out where they're doing it, and then model that, right? Model that behavior. And so you can model behavior. Where is your competition advertising? What are they doing, etc. So I started looking at what other people are doing and started learning from that. And not just, again, very important, if you want to be a millionaire, would you ask a bum on the street? No, you'd ask a millionaire. So if you want to model someone, it's not just about modeling anybody. It's about modeling the right people. And this is key. Finding people that have achieved what it is that you want to achieve and model them. And that's key. So that's the video for today. And the phrase that pays, the phrase of the day is, the easiest shortcut to success is follow the path of whomever is best. Okay? The easiest path, the easiest shortcut to success is to follow the path of whomever is the best. Other than that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I hope you found this video very interesting. And I look forward to catching you on another video very, very soon. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Peace out. One love. Also, if you are interested, if you want to learn more about NLP, about modeling, about just understanding these patterns, then do check out uaenlp.com. I do a webinar on Wednesdays. Other than that, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Peace out, one love, and I will see you on another video very, very soon. Thanks, guys. Peace out. And good night from Melbourne. Thank you. Thanks, Etienne. Good night, man. I'll catch you soon, brother. Take care. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you on another video. Drusel, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks. Keeping it up. I appreciate it. Thank you all. I'll catch you on another video very soon. Peace out, one love, and see you soon.